In a city that reinvents itself every decade, the Stimson House has stood through it all, a stone fortress in the heart of Los Angeles that has survived bombings, earthquakes, and over a century of change. It's not just one of the city's oldest mansions, it's one of the toughest. The story begins with Thomas Douglas Stimson, a lumber and furniture magnate originally from Ontario, Canada. After building a fortune in Chicago, Stimson moved to Los Angeles in the late 1880s, drawn by the booming economy and open land. In 1891, he decided to make a statement, a house unlike anything the city had ever seen. At the time, wealthy families on South Figueroa Street, known as Millionaire's Row, were building ornate Victorian homes out of wood. Stimson, however, wanted something that would last. He hired architect H. Carroll Brown to design a mansion that could stand for centuries. What Brown delivered was a masterpiece in Richardsonian Romanesque style, a 3.5-story home built from red sandstone quarried in New Mexico, complete with thick stone walls, heavy arches, and a 4-story turreted tower. When the Stimson House was completed, it instantly became one of the most distinctive residences in Los Angeles. Locals nicknamed it the Castle. Inside, it was just as extravagant: elaborate wood paneling, carved fireplaces, decorative stained glass, and even a concealed vault rumored to have been built into the study. It reflected both the power and permanence of its owner, a lumber baron who chose to live inside a fortress of stone. But just 5 years later, in 1896, that fortress was nearly destroyed. That summer, a man named Harry Coyne, a con artist and self-proclaimed detective, tried to extort money from Thomas Stimson. When Stimson refused, Coyne placed a stick of dynamite outside the home, beneath the bedroom window. The blast ripped a hole in the lawn and shattered windows throughout the house, but the thick sandstone walls held firm. No one was hurt. The explosion left a crater in the yard but barely scratched the house itself. Newspapers called it a miracle, and Los Angeles marveled at the strength of the house that couldn't be blown up. Coyne was later arrested and convicted, but the bombing only strengthened the mansion's legend. It wasn't just an architectural statement anymore. It was proof that this house could withstand anything. Stimson didn't get to enjoy his fortress for long. He died just 2 years later, in 1898. His widow remained in the house until the early 1900s, and in 1907, the property was sold to Alfred Solano, a civil engineer. In 1918, it was purchased by Edward Meyer, head of the Meyer Brewing Company, who used the basement to store wine and liquor, a fitting use for a house owned by a brewer. After Meyer's death, the mansion entered a new phase. In the 1940s, the home became the residence of the Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity at the University of Southern California. The castle that once hosted elite dinner parties was suddenly filled with college students throwing loud parties. Neighbors often complained about the noise, but even that rowdy chapter didn't harm the stone giant. In 1948, philanthropist Carrie Doheny, widow of oil tycoon Edward Doheny Jr., acquired the home and donated it to the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet. The sisters used it as a convent for over 2 decades. Then, in 1969, the house was converted into student housing for Mount St. Mary's College, continuing its quiet second life as part of Los Angeles's educational community. The sisters reclaimed it again in the 1990s, preserving their long stewardship of the property. Through each transformation, from mansion to frat house to convent, ghost stories began to take shape. Residents over the years claimed to hear footsteps echoing through the empty halls at night, or to see shadows moving in the turret windows. Whether haunted or not, the house's sheer age and Gothic style certainly gave it an eerie charm. The Stimson House was officially recognized as a National Register of Historic Places site on March 30, 1978, and designated Los Angeles Historic Cultural Monument number 212 on May 16, 1979. These protections ensured that the mansion would survive while almost every other home from Millionaire's Row was demolished to make way for hospitals and apartment buildings. Then came one of its biggest tests, the 1994 Northridge earthquake. The quake severely damaged the roof, chimneys, and parapets, and bricks fell through parts of the upper floor. The sisters were forced to vacate for nearly 10 months during restoration, but when the repairs were complete, the house once again stood strong, proving that even nature couldn't bring it down. Over time, the Stimson House also found a second life in Hollywood. Its dramatic medieval look made it a favorite for film and television crews. It's appeared in productions like House 2, Casper Meets Wendy, After Midnight, Another You, Clifford, Pushing Daisies, and even served as the Francis family home in Mad Men's later seasons. Whether playing a haunted mansion or an old money estate, it's become a character of its own in Los Angeles cinema. Despite its fame, the Stimson House remains mostly off-limits to the public. It's still owned by the Sisters of St. Joseph, and the interior isn't generally open for tours, but its reputation as one of Los Angeles's most enduring structures continues to attract attention from historians, preservationists, and curious locals. From the sidewalk on Figueroa, it looks like a castle that time forgot, standing alone amid modern apartments and palm trees. The Stimson House is more than just an architectural treasure. It's a survivor. It's withstood a bombing, earthquakes, and a century of change. It's been a mansion, a frat house, a convent, and a film set. It's one of the last tangible pieces of old Los Angeles, a city that often buries its past to make room for the future. In a city known for reinvention, the Stimson House is the rare exception. It doesn't adapt to the times, it endures them. From 1891 to today, it's watched Los Angeles rise, burn, and rebuild around it. And through it all, that red stone fortress has stood unshaken, its walls holding the stories of every life and every era that passed through.